Following is a production of Locked Up Sports.
Hi, everyone. This is ESPN alum Bob Picozzi, and you are locked in to Locked Up Sports.
Can't wait.
When it comes to talking sports, they're the authority. It's Bob Walters and Brett Grasso. It's Locked Up Sports, and it starts now.
Bring them out, bring them out, hey. Bring them out, bring them out, yo. Bring them out, bring them out, hey. Bring them out.
Here we go. Bob Walters, Brett Grasso, from the Brian Gunzel Studios. This is Locked Up Sports. The Knicks advance to the second round. The Islanders eliminated in a heartbreaking Game 6 loss. The Rangers got to get it together in a do-or-die Game 6 at the Garden tonight. Yankees continue to struggle, but breathe a sigh of relief with Judge's MRI results. And Aaron Rodgers is finally a New York Jet. Brett, welcome to the show. What is up?
Are there really many better weeks in New York sports?
No.
Come on. Right now, Jets, Aaron Rodgers.
Knicks, Rangers.
Moving on, second round.
Rangers taking a nosedive.
Well, the Rangers are still alive, at least, compared to the Islanders.
The Islanders are not alive, and that's...
But let me tell you, Aaron Rodgers, we got the NFL draft. That didn't work out for the Jets as well as they thought they wanted it to.
No, but it wasn't. Listen, Jets got everything they needed with Aaron Rodgers. That's what they did. They got everything they needed with Aaron Rodgers this week, and that's the biggest thing. They got Aaron Rodgers. It's a done deal. They got their quarterback, but we're going to get to that. Let's start with the Islanders. Now, the Islanders last night, they had it all in front of them. They were playing well through the first two periods. They had a 1-0 lead. They missed some opportunities. They hit some posts last night. They missed opportunities is what happened. And then the third period, Carolina came out and they just kind of dominated the third period. And that's where the game was lost. The goal that they lost on was just it was a bad angle shot.
Well, the tying goal was, that one was a tough one too. They honestly, they held on the whole game. Third period, they were, they're obviously getting a little tired. But Aho just takes the hand pass, drops it in front of himself, and flicks it right in to tie the game in the third period.
Yeah, but when you're outshot 19 to 3 in that third period, I mean, here's the goal that the Clutterbuck got the first goal right here, and that got the place going. And it was jumping, and you could feel it. But then they missed a couple of big chances, and they hit the post a couple times. They missed a couple big chances in the crease. The game got tied, and and in overtime, we all saw what happened in overtime.
I really, while I was actually watching, it's one of the few games I actually got a chance to watch this week. But I was like, oh man, if they win this, they might go on and win Game 7. They were like, I was like, they had no chance. 3 days ago, nobody even cared. Even Islander fans I know were like, yeah, we'll see, we'll watch to see if they win or whatever.
No, yeah, I know. I saw that too a couple times. The Islanders, it was a good season for the Islanders. The Islanders they weren't expected to make the playoffs. I didn't think they were going to make the playoffs with like 3 weeks left in the season. They had a good finish. They made the playoffs. They got their first playoff games in UBS Arena. The place was rocking.
So they were going to push it to Game 7. I really did.
I don't think they would have won Game 7 anyway. I mean, it's on the road.
You just got to get there.
This group of Islanders is kind of an aging group. They got a good goalie. You felt bad for Sorokin at the end with the goal because he played so well. He's the reason they made the playoffs.
Would have been nice to see some local teams playing each other at that point.
Islanders! I told you I wanted the Islanders because I thought they would be easier to beat than Carolina. But that was last week when I was counting my eggs before my chickens before they hatch.
Yeah, well,
and we were up 2-0.
Speaking of teams that have to make it to a Game 7.
And the bottom has just completely fallen out for the Rangers. Just completely fallen out. I mean, I don't know what they're doing. They're making this guy Schmidt here look like he's Marty Brodeur. I mean, he's playing unbelievable. You see he's making these saves. He's making diving glove saves. He's making great saves with everything. He's playing great. And the Rangers are just playing terrible. There is nothing that the Rangers are doing right. There's absolutely nothing that they're doing right. They are not scoring goals. The power play is terrible. The penalty kill is terrible. They're standing around. They're lazy.
What happened? They were. What happened? What was going on the first two games that all of a sudden nothing?
To be honest with
you can't go from all that to nothing.
Well, to be honest with you, I think
was there lucky? Were they getting some lucky goals early?
As much as it was, I don't think it was as much the Rangers playing great as the Devils not playing well. Because the Devils, I said before the series, I was worried about the Devils. I thought it'd be a 6 or 7 game series. I was worried about it. And then all of a sudden we went in there 5-1, 5-1, and you're like, okay, we're in good shape. We can sweep through this thing. Now let's get ready for the next round.
And then you started talking where? How many places? How many different social media accounts did you talk? Did you say things you shouldn't have said?
I actually didn't say much, but I mean, I felt confidence. Maybe it's just a feeling thing with me now.
Yeah, I don't even think it matters.
Listen, they got to play. They got to play better. Every aspect of the game has got to be better. Now, are they gonna get a big speech? Messier's not there tonight. Did you look at the headlines? And Trouba has got to step up now. It's time for you to be captain. This is when you come and you be captain of a team. The team is falling apart. The whole thing is going to hell. Now it's game 6. You still have a chance. They got a home game tonight. Okay. They have to get off to a good start. The last 2 games, they did not get off to a good start. They gave up a goal in the first minute or 2 minutes of the last 2 games. And if that happens tonight, the crowd is going to start to turn on them because we're all pissed. This is outrageous. This is 2 years in a row now, Brett. Remember, in the Eastern Conference Finals, they were up 2-0. Then they came home. They had a 2-0 lead in game 3. And the whole thing fell apart. They lost 4 in a row to Tampa. Listen, what are they going to do tonight? It's anybody's guess. It's anybody's guess as to whether they're going to win the game, whether they're going to come out and lose 6-0, whether they're going to come out and lose a nail biter or they're going to win a nail biter. I think it's going to be very big as the start of this game. The start is so important. You got to get that first goal. You got to get the crowd back on your side.
Just like the Islanders last night.
Just like the Islanders. And listen, it helped them. And the Islanders dominated that game.
You got to have a good finish, too. You know what we need in the middle? Some goodness. You need a good start.
The Islanders needed
a good finish.
The Islanders needed to be better
and do pretty good in the middle.
The Islanders got unlucky. They were unlucky last night. They had a couple of posts. That's not going to help you out. If 2 of those goals go in, it's over. They win.
It was exciting. At least the game was exciting for the fans all the way leading up to the third period where they were in it. They had a good game to watch. They say we're going to get blown out like some of
it was an excellent
same
game.
Thing where you're down like 2 or 3-0 and you got nothing to root for.
But listen, the Islanders are better. Carolina's a better team than the Islanders. So it's not really okay.
Well, the Rangers right now are, they were a better team for 2 games and the Devils right now are, got to show up. You got to show up and prove that you can beat the Devils.
The whole thing changed on the goal when they changed the goalie. When they went to Schmidt, he's a kid. He's out of nowhere. Nobody's ever heard of him. He's played in like a handful of NHL games in his life, and now he's coming in, and he's playing unbelievable. I mean, if you look at the Game 5 stats, the Devils dominate everything. The Rangers are, except for the hits, the Rangers are more physical, but you knew they were going to do that. Devils are faster, power plays, the face-offs won, everything.
The Rangers had 2 shots on goal in the third period.
Here's the thing, Brett. I mean, listen.
What is going... Come on. That's pathetic. That has nothing to do with your goalie or their goalie. Their goalie stood there except for 2 times.
Yeah, the Rangers could have... It was 3 shots, first of all.
Was it 3?
The Rangers could have literally scored on every...
stat in me.
The Rangers could have literally scored on every shot they took in the third period and still lost the game. Yeah. And they're just terrible. Gallant called them out after game 3. Nothing. Then they come out in game 4. Nothing. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. They're
shifting the lines around. It's happening.
Yeah, no, listen, you got to have a shake-up here. Because Zibanejad is a no-show for the whole series. Trocheck has been a no-show since Kane has come on this team. Kane looks old. I don't know what the answer is, and it's going to be fascinating tonight. And like I said, I think it's going to come down to whether they get a good start and get the crowd behind them. Because if this thing goes south and the Devils get a goal or, God forbid, 2 goals in that first period, it's the whole garden's going to turn on the Rangers, and it's just going to be a disaster.
Who's going to step up? Who's your guy?
I'm going to go with Zibanejad. He's one of the best players on the team. He's been one of the better players, big time goal scorers. He got the tying goal in Game 7 last year against Pittsburgh. Zibanejad is going to step up. He was MIA for the first 5 games.
You need a bunch of guys to step up tonight. You don't need. You know what? You don't need this. Let's getting a goal early and let's hang on and see what happens. You guys need to get some offense going. If you get some power plays or some opportunities,
power plays been terrible.
You got to put it away. You got to get that's the whole thing. Because whoever's going to win the power play game is going to win. This is
where
tonight.
I think like Kreider being the captain, like we all thought he was going to be the captain after last year, 50 goals, the great run in the playoffs, and then they made Trouba the captain. I think that if Kreider was the captain, you'd get kind of a Messier-type speech. Trouba's not going to do that. He's not that kind of leader. He's kind of a lead-by-example kind of guy, And Gallant is not the kind of coach. Now, this fallout here, this is the kind of thing that gets coaches fired. I'm sorry. Listen, Dolan has proven in the past that he's impulsive. He fired the whole front office a number of years ago with JD and all them because they didn't step up and play and defend one of their players. He fired the whole staff, the whole front office. Everybody went. Now, this is 2 years in a row. Last year, they weren't expected to make the run, so it was forgivable that they blew that lead in the Eastern Conference Finals 2-0. This year, now we're expected.
Now it's a habit.
Now there's expectations, and now it's a habit. So I think if the Rangers lose bad tonight, I think Gallant could be in trouble. But we'll see. You can't lose 4 in a row here to the Devils. The Devils are a young team. They're a good team. And also, you know what? Lafreniere and Kakko, again, nowhere to be found. But the Devils' top picks are scoring goals. They're playing well. It took them 2 games to get their legs under them and remember what playoff hockey is. But I don't know. I'm worried about this. I'm worried about tonight. I don't know. I have no idea as to how they're going to come out, how they're going to play.
Who would have thought this time last week that we'd be talking about the Rangers being able to be eliminated in Game 6 and the Knicks waiting around for Game 1.
Real quick before you get to the Knicks, because as far as the NHL playoffs go, today there's 3 games. Today's Game 6 day in the NHL. There's 3 Game 6s today. You got the Leafs, who are basically like, to compare, if you don't watch hockey, the Leafs are basically the Knicks, okay? A little bit better. Yeah. They make the play. Yeah. They haven't won a playoff series in forever, and the Leafs are, that's it in Toronto. They're not worried about the grass that they put on the field at the Toronto Blue Jays place. They're worried about the Leafs, and they have a 3-2 lead. They have a chance to close it out tonight. The Bruins, who basically lost 10 games all year.
What's going on with them?
The Bruins lost basically 10 games all year. Yes, they played a wild game. 7-5 loss to Florida Panthers. The Florida Panthers, now they're going to a Game 7, a do or die for the Bruins, who set the record for most points ever.
Did you see the back and forth goals in that game?
Back and forth, third period, wild third period, back and forth, all over the place. It was crazy. So the NHL playoffs have been fantastic. And you had last night, and you also have the defending Stanley Cup champions, the Colorado Avalanche, playing now a Game 7, which they had to force a Game 7 against an expansion team of the Kraken, playing in their first ever NHL playoffs. So, listen, the NHL playoffs, as usual.
It's going to be fun to watch the next 6 months of hockey.
But now... but the other garden tenant, the Knicks, Brett, the Knicks. How good was that? How good were the Knicks last week?
I like to see the way that they did it. Just start to finish. Start to finish. And the guys who stepped up, that, Mitchell Robinson, another, right? I mean, what unbelievable. Jalen Brunson.
Brunson's unbelievable.
Josh Hart, when you needed him, when other guys weren't there. Julius Randle, obviously, he even stepped up before he got hurt.
He played well. He was
playing really well up until when he got hurt, and that was a big step up from from his performance in the game before where he got benched. But they were all firing.
And the Knicks fans are the hungriest fan base in all of sports.
Yep.
Maybe next to the Leafs. We're right there with the Leafs. Because you could tell that place was
But they got to enjoy it, too. Like, they really got to enjoy it, which is nice.
Well, who said that? Who picked Knicks in 5? Who picked Knicks in 5? Nobody. Nobody picked Knicks in 5.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Did you look at me like you thought I said it?
You picked Knicks in 5? You out of your mind? I was like, there's no way you picked Knicks in 5.
No, I didn't pick. Nobody picked Knicks in 5. Nobody picked Knicks in 5. And the only thing that bothers me about the Knicks winning is that Stephen A. Smith is happy about it. Like, he's a Knick. Like, I can't with Stephen A. Smith.
No. You know what? I don't know. I don't mind that as much. I actually enjoy that part. I actually looked forward very rarely do I wake up and look forward to seeing his reaction. And when he was doing the whole "Go New York," I was dying. I was like, he was so like genuinely hyped.
But now, okay, so now there's that. They got their little break. You know what I love? Have you seen it? The press conference, the Brunson Hart press conferences?
Oh, yeah.
Where Hart's eating.
He's eating the chicken wing.
He's eating the chicken wings and the popcorn he's eating. And Brunson's just all serious and he gets pissed.
That's, you know what? Hopefully we got a lot more of those press conferences because you don't eat chicken wings in the bad ones.
Now it doesn't get any easier because the Heat are not a bad team.
It's not even the Heat. It's not the Heat. You're not playing the Heat. You're playing Jimmy Butler.
You're playing Jimmy Butler. And Butler, he's the best player in this series. By far, I think he's the best player in this series, okay? He's killed in all the games against the Bucks, which, by the way, the Bucks are a complete disaster. That's a complete disaster. I don't care what Giannis says about Jordan's losses or whatever. First of all, don't compare yourself to Michael Jordan, okay? Not yet. LeBron can compare himself to Michael Jordan. That's it. Jimmy Butler is going to be the best player in this series. He goes off. He kind of takes the regular season off sometimes. And then he just shows up, and he's been unbelievable in these playoffs. Unbelievable. And I think the Knicks can beat them. I do. I think the Knicks can beat them.
Yeah, well, you have to stop. I mean, you have to slow down Jimmy Butler.
You do, but you got to
slow him down. But if he's put up 40 and 50, you're in trouble. Like, if he's attempting to, and you hold him to 30-something, you probably got a good shot. If he gets his 40 or gets his 50, you're in trouble.
The Knicks with 3-1 against the Heat this year in the regular season. They are the better team, I think. I think they should win this series and then win the Knicks in the Eastern Conference Finals. Now, here's the schedule for it. Now, before anybody says anything or starts writing, yes, I know it's the Atlanta Hawks symbol up there. Brett, do you see that? I just realized that I put the Atlanta Hawks symbol.
That's funny. Would you think it was the Heat?
No, I didn't. Yeah. So I don't know what I thought, but I knew it was. Look, the Heat symbol's right next to it. So
yeah, you got all the Heat.
So we got the game one tomorrow.
Knicks Heat.
1 o'clock. Knicks Heat. By the way, Knicks Heat, not Knicks Hawks. 1 o'clock. Then you got 3 days off again, as usual.
Yeah, you need it.
And then they go down.
That's good for the Knicks, though. The Knicks aren't going into this 100% healthy. You know, you look at Julius Randle, who has been at practice, which is good.
Yeah, he'll play.
Right.
He was questionable going into that first series, too.
Yeah, I hear you. But we like him playing when he's productive. You don't want Julius Randle coming in, not being productive, or being a liability where if you go into the same Julius Randle that was like, you know what?
I think I could do it.
No, he did the whole, okay, I'm going to be right around the 3-point line. I'm going to take a step back jumper. He did that
that's
8 times.
It's surprising if that's his move, too, because he's a big guy.
And when he's hitting it, that's fine. You cannot have a playoff series where he tries that 9 times and it didn't work yet. No. That's what happens. That was a big problem when they benched him, and if Tibbs didn't bench him in that spot, the Knicks might lose that game.
Yeah, I mean, listen, they got to rebound. They're gonna have to rebound.
That's a whole different series if he doesn't bench Julius Randle there.
They got to rebound the ball. They're gonna have to play. They're gonna have to stop Jimmy Butler, but they're not a great team. The Heat, besides Jimmy Butler, I don't think they really. I mean, they dominated.
No, once Tyler Hero went down, no, it's not the same.
And does this screw up the NBA next season? Because Giannis played all his games. He didn't do the time management thing where he sat out a bunch of games. He played 70, 75 games. Does this, and then you look at a team like the Clippers. Okay, the Clippers again. They sit out Kawhi.
Yeah, they sit him out.
Oh, okay, all year. They sit him out all year.
And and
there, and then he's not there for the playoffs. So what's the point?
He tears his meniscus is what they're saying, and he was out.
But what's the point? You do the load management all year, and then to get him for this week, for last week, and then he's not even there to be played. So the NBA is weird like that. I mean, I don't know if they I don't know what they do, because now what's the point in Milwaukee winning 60 games if they're going to get a team like the Heat? They would have much rather the Nets, right?
No, yeah.
So now you win.
No, you're right. Well, the problem was the Heat were just off all year. You know what I mean? The Heat were just not themselves.
Yeah, you're right. That's a good point.
And they came together at a certain point. And like anything, it's like this new play-in round has actually been effective in the way, and you watch the same thing with the Lakers, where all of a sudden these teams that may have been average all year, below average, they have the team, they have the thing, the chemistry wasn't there. They make deals at the deadline. It gives them a chance after the deadline to catch up, get into a spot, and if you can make a run, you're the hot team. anybody. You might be playing the Bucks, but you're just as good as the Bucks. At least the last 8 weeks we were.
Yeah, well, it seems like the Lakers are kind of lying in wait, and even Golden State. Even Golden State was not a top team.
Well, they can't. They were the best team in the league home and the worst team in the league on the road.
Yeah, and that was from the
and then
very
all of a
beginning
sudden, who knows? The last 2 games, they won on the road and they lost at home. So now they have to go on the road again. And who knows? How do you pick that?
Yeah,
they were 7.5 point favorites last night.
Yeah, and what was the final of that game?
I don't know what the final of that game was, but it wasn't good.
Yeah, and I pick Curry. That's what I would do. I would always pick Curry. Still, even though he's getting a little bit older, he's still one of the better players on the court. And
yeah, just like LeBron, you kind of got to pick him. The Lakers getting 4.5 last night, and all of a sudden they win by 40.
But LeBron's still one of the best players in the NBA. I mean, look what they did. Won by 40 last night.
Right. They're all about just 2 things. It's tough to bet them mid-season, slight injury. Are they going to have their full? You don't know if they're going to show up all night. When it's playoffs,
they show up.
Not injured, not totally injured. You're going to get their full go. Doesn't mean he's going to hit everything. The other night, LeBron, when they were down, he went load management mid-game. He played the minutes, and he went, nope, we're down. We're not winning this game. And LeBron 100% shut down in the 3rd and 4th quarter, preparing for Game 6.
Because he knew
it's a 100% known thing. You could see it. He was not going in the way that he normally would in any other situation because he realized if I do that at the age that he is, it would keep him from being able to go really push in 2 days and go play that Game 6. The turnaround's very hard at that age.
Professional basketball, it's a weird sport like that. Like, they don't go full out on defense.
They can, but they know they do it every day, and that's why the Jaws do it every day, and that may have caught up with them at this point in the series, where all of a sudden they go, you have to realize the reason they're freaks, but guess what? Guys can't do that all the time.
There's too many games.
There's too many, exactly.
That's
These guys can, these young guys can do it any day. They can say, you want me to give you 50? I'm talking, there's guys you've never heard of that can go give you 50 in the league tonight. They're not allowed. They are not allowed. They could. It's really like, and on any given night, they can't do it every night. If they get hot, I'm talking almost any guy. You can really let them. No, they're not allowed to do that. Just LeBron, just Ja.
I mean, you got the Sun. Look at the Eastern Conference. How good is that now? The Celtics, as the best team in the Eastern Conference, get the Sixers in the second round, while the Knicks get to play the Heat.
Yeah, with home court.
Do you like that, or you want them to reseed?
That's funny. We're at work. Now listen, we're at work. My buddy is like, listen, they're going I'm going to Miami. He already bought tickets. He's like, I'm buying cheap tickets to the playoffs.
Are they? Okay.
The flights were
cheap.
Flights was cheap. It's about to go through the roof once they found out.
No, do you think that has a price on the flight, a different an effect on the flight price? Hotels, okay,
and then definitely once it's the Knicks and it's in Florida.
Yeah, you're right.
The ticket price is through the roof.
Oh, so he bought the tickets, hoping
got right at the right time. He just whatever, just do. He didn't even know what day it was gonna be. I'll buy game whatever.
Yeah.
I'll take the second game. But my other buddy goes, no, they reseed.
No, they used to reseed.
And he's like, no, wait. And he's like, wait. Now he's not buying the tickets. Now he's like, the flights. How can I book a flight if they reseed? And now we're searching on the internet if they reseed.
Yeah, they don't. They used to reseed. They used to reseed, because now it's like an NCAA tournament type format. The 16 team beats the 1. They're going to get the second round, the winner of the 8-9.
Yeah.
Is that really fair for you play a whole NBA season? The Celtics were clearly the best team in the Eastern Conference.
With the play-in stuff and stuff like that, I think it should kind of be reseeded.
Right? Like, do the Knicks deserve to get the Heat? Or do they deserve to get the Sixers? Would people rather see a Sixers-Celtics Eastern Conference championship?
Well, it doesn't. I don't care what they'd rather see.
The NBA wants the Knicks in. Let's be real. The NBA wants the Knicks.
They would definitely. They do like the underdog story too. So I think they don't. I think they like that aspect of it.
Well, the New York and an underdog story as far as they forget, because everybody that says, oh, they hate the Knicks, they call fouls against the Knicks, or they push the Rangers, screw the Rangers button that everybody talks about. Listen, these leagues would die to have the Rangers and the Knicks in the finals every year.
Yeah.
They would do anything to get that. There's 8 million people here. Look at the way the city is now. The Knick fans coming out of the woodwork all over the place.
Yeah.
I at least claim I'm not a Knicks fan like I am a Giants fan.
This is what happened. I'll even give you with that. Like, I used to be a huge Knicks fan, like anybody. And when they were so bad for so long, you're just not watching the game. So you're just not even up on it. Like, what's the point? And like we do that with the Mets too, but we were more into it with the Mets.
Really,
it's very hard to
We're watching the Mets.
No, it's very hard when they've only won 20 games and it's August, and you're like, now, to keep up with the inner workings of who's this and who's that.
The Mets have never been so bad when it's hit August and they've won 20 games.
Yeah, it's been pretty close.
Mets have been pretty bad. They've had some bad teams. Even the 62 team didn't won more than 20 games by August.
Yeah,
but I think, did we lose the feed here? Hold on. Yeah, we did.
There it is.
Okay, so where were we? Oh, the Knicks. Well, you got me talking about the Mets there for a second. No, but you're in on the Mets. We're watching the Mets games. We're following the Mets. I don't follow the Knicks like I follow them, like I follow the Giants or the Mets. So you follow the Jets,
but
right? Even when they're terrible.
But you don't even. Yeah, basketball is different. Like
it's like that for us. For me and you, it's not like that for everybody. There are people who live and die by the Knicks.
No, of course. But when at the moment the Knicks are decent, when they have a decent basketball team or a singular star that is worth showing up to the Garden for, people are watching on a nightly basis. When the Knicks were not even that good, and say even on seasons where they had no chance to make the playoffs, and it was Carmelo Anthony, if he was going to go off and do 40 or 50 on any night, that would be the first thing on the highlights in the morning.
Yeah.
Crappy Knicks team, Carmelo had 42.
The problem is that the Garden sells out. You could put our show live at the Garden, and we fill half the place because it's in the middle of Manhattan, Midtown Manhattan. People just want to see Madison Square Garden. They want to be there. It's the place to be. There's a ton of corporate tickets.
Yeah.
So now we had talked to our buddy Frank, who has this access to this suite, and I had said that obviously I would go for the Rangers game. You were talking about the Knicks, right?
Yeah.
He also threw a Taylor Swift concert in there. Because I might go to that.
I would go to Taylor Swift at the Garden.
I'd go to
that one. You can't get that.
I want to go to Taylor Swift.
You can't get the ticket.
I'm looking to go to a Taylor Swift concert. I like Taylor Swift. I don't know why everybody I get made fun of about that, but I happen to like Taylor Swift. Now,
$1,000 worth it?
I'm not paying $1,000.
What's your limit? What's your Taylor Swift budget?
Taylor Swift budget?
Yeah. I'm talking real life budget, like based into your.
Now here's the deal. I don't
real life. Okay,
finance. I'm going to answer.
And your wife has to approve.
I'm going to answer the
question.
And
does she come? Are you doubling?
She's not as interested in going to the Taylor Swift concert as I am.
Okay,
let's put it that way.
She's letting you go alone.
She'll go. Of course she'll go.
But how much is she willing to go?
I'm not going alone to the Taylor Swift concert. But
you're going for both. If you're talking big money.
Okay, so here's what I'm talking. Here's my deal. I will not go see a concert at a stadium. Like, I'm not going to the Meadowlands to see a concert. I think it's just too big.
Okay.
Any football stadium. She plays football stadiums, too. At the Garden, Taylor Swift, I go $275 a ticket.
You're not even getting in. I don't think that's face value.
No, really?
I don't think you're getting in for face value at $275.
$275? You don't think I'm getting in at face value?
No. If you want $275, you're like sleeping like a bum for 2 days outside the tickets window.
Really?
No, I think you're like. I think you're at like 1,200.
I'm gonna look.
I think you're at 1,000 to walk in the door.
You think I'm 1,000 to walk in the door?
For a Taylor Swift concert in general. Forget about MSG. MSG 1,000 minimum, 2,000 maybe to walk in the door.
Really?
I'm talking right now. It's so crazy.
So then what?
It's so crazy. The stadium one, you're at minimum 500 probably in the door.
Really? Okay, so I have here. Let's see. Where's she playing?
Yeah, but I don't want to hear about her Charlotte.
Okay, here we go. She's going to MetLife. What do you?
MetLife Stadium. That's a big stadium.
That's a big stadium.
What are you getting?
MetLife Stadium.
How much to get me in the bathroom?
Okay. The get-in price for Taylor Swift. Oh, yeah. Hold on. Okay, so you want to sit up in the corner of the end zone. Row 17, section 330. Top corner of the end zone. Yeah. Okay? $2,100.
Stop. You serious?
Yeah.
You serious?
I have it right here.
I told you. Imagine what that's at the Garden. What do you think that is?
At the Garden? Forget it. I didn't know it was like that. So I'm not going to see Taylor Swift then because I'm just a civil servant.
You were ready to bring your wife for like $24,000.
No, the one now,
She doesn't really want to go.
No, she doesn't appreciate it. She doesn't appreciate it.
No, we can't put the down payment on the house this year, honey.
But we are going to see Taylor Swift at MetLife Stadium. Imagine that's in top corner end zone, 17 rows.
It's obstructed view. You don't really see her.
Oh my God, you know you can't see her because the stage is at the other end. Or maybe hold on, maybe the stage is right there, but still, okay.
What do you mean, maybe the stage is
okay. So 1,400 you could get in at the other corner of the end zone.
1,400, you're pretty much in Patterson, New Jersey.
1,400, you're in 301 top corner. Okay, of the end zone, but the stage is in the other end zone. 330.
Does she switch sides at the end of the quarter?
No, 3:30. Same thing.
Does she switch sides
at halftime? No, it looks like she's got a walkout stage though, so she walks out onto the floor. I can't believe it.
No, get me close. Get me close.
You know my buddy.
Get me close.
My buddy Justin that lives in Florida.
Yeah.
And makes it even more impressive. He likes Taylor. He likes Taylor Swift too. He went to a Taylor Swift concert just last week, maybe. Row 3.
Wow. He's rolling.
Now he's a lawyer and his wife's a doctor. But still, that's you don't have that. You need to be like lottery winners to be row 3 at Taylor Swift, clearly. So he either got them through somewhere or something like that. Something happened. So I don't know. That's incredible. But anyway, so the NFL draft, we had big news in the NFL, Brett. We didn't lead with this. I've been joking around with you about Aaron Rodgers not coming and everything. The deal got done this week. Aaron Rodgers is a New York Jet.
Kind of like we said right before the draft. And that was... At first, I honestly, and we can talk about what they got for it, they swapped their first round pick. The Jets' 13th pick got changed to the 15th pick. The Packers took the second rounder for the Jets this year, and they're getting conditional second rounder next year, which is probably going to be a first round pick next year. So a late first rounder next year also. Another pick swap in there, but basically it's a second rounder this year and a possible first rounder next year for Rodgers.
Which is fine. Listen, that I don't even think that's. I don't know why the Jets spent so long dragging this thing through the mud.
They said the last thing was that swap, the 13 for 15, was they just didn't want to do it, and there's a reason why they didn't want to do it, and the reason is because there was 4 offensive tackles on the board that were the tackles to have in the draft. There's only 4. There aren't another one, but all of a sudden, at the 14th pick. But Bill Belichick decides to trade his pick to Pittsburgh, who comes and takes our tackle. The last one left, Broderick Jones.
Ultimate trolling job.
Totally got it. He barely even gave it up for anything.
I mean, because the Steelers will screw the Jets too.
The Jets. This kid is just ready to play. Plug him in. Offensive left tackle, blind side for Aaron Rodgers. He will now be protecting Kenny Pickett in Pittsburgh. The Jets end up with an edge rusher. Linebacker, edge rusher, with the 15th pick, Will McDonald IV from Iowa State. Guy's a beast. Will add so much value to our defense. Broke the sack record in the Big 12. Really, but that's just not what we needed there. It's not what we needed there. We ended up taking a center in the second round. But that Aaron Rodgers trade and that little swap right there cost Aaron Rodgers his offensive tackle. We're not finding one.
Same thing. He's feeling right at home, bro. Like you said, he's right at home.
He's used to this. When's the last time he's had an offensive player taken in the first round? Still not happened. The only offensive player taken in the first round, you know who it was?
Who?
It's for him. Jordan Love.
Yeah. But you know what? Rodgers is good. Listen, Rodgers is good enough. I think he's going to be fine. I think the Jets, I think now they got to win a Super Bowl. Look at this. We got the Knicks good. The Jets have a chance to win the Super Bowl.
Rangers
got
to win 2 games.
Let's not talk about the Rangers. Listen, the Rangers are no good right now. Rangers couldn't beat a team at face-off in Bayport right now.
But that was the Jets ended up picking up a center later in the draft. Joe Tippmann, who is going to be able to get plugged around other spots. So they ended up picking up today another left tackle, local kid, and they ended up picking up another running back. So they also have 10 running backs.
What do you mean local kid?
If my computer didn't shut down, I'd be getting some many more
is he
details.
Like Long Island kid?
No, not that local.
Like Jersey?
Tri-state area. Okay. Jersey.
Jersey has some
Jersey.
Good teams. But Jersey has some good teams.
But that's what it was.
Catholic and then those guys.
Yeah.
So listen, as far as I think that's great. I think it's great that Belichick did that, trolled them like that, because that's what he did. That's a straight troll job by Belichick.
Yeah,
and Belichick.
You know what the Jets did though? The Jets messed up. The Jets they went out and made it very clear exactly what they were getting, who they wanted, who they targeted, and they made it very easy for every other team. They did not hold their cards close to their chest. They went and told everybody what they wanted, how it was going to be. And so it made it easy for other teams to go. And even for Belichick, he may have seeked out the trade down. Hey, you want Broderick? You want Broderick?
Oh, he did. He's the G. He runs the whole show there. He did. Absolutely.
It wasn't even someone else calling him. He probably went and found it.
First
he probably found. He's like, hey, I know you're looking for this guy. You want to get him? The Jets are going to take him in the next pick.
First of all, he already knew that, because Belichick dots his I's and crosses his T's with everything. He loves it. He has his hands in everything. He's the GM. He's everything. And that's why the Bob Kraft's teams have done so well, because Bob Kraft's, he's like, you run the team. You run everything. I'll be off getting massages. You run everything.
Yep.
And it it's worked out great, but
it never rubs Bill the wrong way.
Oh, that's terrible. As far as the Giants in the draft, listen, they did all right. They got a wide receiver from Tennessee. They got a corner. Now the corner situation, the kid from Maryland, I don't know much about him, and I'm not going to lie to you here. I didn't see a second of the NFL draft. Right now we have it. We have the NFL draft on our TV in the studio here, and this is the first I'm seeing of the NFL draft. Listen, I've been too wrapped up in the Rangers, first of all, the Knicks playing unbelievable. I've been wrapped up in I haven't even been crazy about the baseball. The Mets, they've been doing okay. I've been following the Mets, of course, and the Yankees. But as far as the NFL goes, I can't get dug into the NFL draft, and I have always been consistent with this. I think the NFL draft, the fact that it's such a big deal on TV, that it sells out wherever it plays, they do like a whole Super Bowl thing.
They do a whole thing and they had it at like MetLife Stadium. Like there was a whole, worst. Each city has its own.
I cannot watch the NFL draft.
See, I actually used to enjoy it as a kid. Like it was like, that's like the Jets Super Bowl. It is like it's all we have.
The Jets always.
And it was always a good shot. And you're somewhere in the top 5,
and it was always at the Garden.
8. It would be like, we're getting Keyshawn, and that's what you wanted, and like it was good. It was like, and so I would have went to draft parties and stuff back then. So I get it. People are crazy. Like it, same thing as we were talking about before. With like, no, you don't understand. Like people are nuts about this stuff, and that's all they care about. They're not like into 20 different things. They're just Jets fans. It's all they care about. Or for every NFL team. Especially more in others. In New York, you got 100 things to do. Kansas City, football.
Yeah, I guess, but
barbecue. And we're going to do both every Sunday, even in the offseason.
But like the NFL, it's so. I mean, Melk. First of all, I'm not a Melk Hyper fan. Okay, so I what does he do the rest of the year? Like he's not even on the shows for the 9-10 months.
He's already working on mock draft 1.
And mock
draft 1.
That's another thing.
It's coming.
I can't deal with mock drafts.
You didn't sign up for the ESPN Plus?
No mock drafts. No. Mock drafts are the dumbest thing you could ever do.
I love how it's so fake that they faked the first draft just to have a second final mock.
Oh, the mock drafts, one after another. Nobody cares about your mock draft.
Then they have the comparison with him and.
I have people that are on Facebook doing mock. They do mock drafts. Who sits down and does a mock draft? You have nothing better to do with your life than sit there in the middle of April?
You just ruined that's his whole life. He made a whole life out of it.
Sit there,
the guy made a whole life and a whole career out of it.
Okay, he made a life out of it. But you're some dude sitting in Babylon, sitting down on a Saturday in March during the NCAA tournament, going through a mock draft.
Just mocking out.
Give me a break with that. No, the mock drafts. No.
It's a no for Bob.
That's a no.
Mock drafts are a no for Bob.
Taylor Swift, yes. Yep. Mock drafts, no.
Yep.
Come on. You got to have something good. They're not getting laid, right? Those people aren't getting laid, are they? But they're probably saying the same thing about us.
Taylor Swift guys?
Yeah. Listen, Taylor Swift guys do all right, Brett. All right? Taylor Swift guys do all right.
Listen, if you're getting it, listen, you know what goes on in the back row at a $1,400 Taylor Swift concert? Imagine that. You're like, you got good money. All right, you're trying to bring your girl to the Taylor Swift concert. Like, you look at the prices like we just looked, and all of a sudden you're at, You're at $5,000 in the back row with your girl.
Oh, I'm getting my $5,000 right. Yeah, you better believe it.
Yeah, this is it.
And maybe the other person, that wants to swap the $5,000 girls.
That's a different conversation.
So, listen, the mock drafts, though. I mean, listen, who's sitting there? There'll be mock drafts on SportsCenter, like in the week 2 of the NFL or week 2 of the college season. They'll be talking about here's Mel's big board and his mock draft. Give me a break.
He's shifted. Let me tell you, he's shifted. And speaking of that, did you see? Speaking of back row girls at the Taylor Swift concert, just kidding, but Will Levitt's first round with his girl sitting on his lap, waiting, not getting drafted.
Yo, she was.
Then he swaps girls to a different girl.
I didn't see him swap girls. Did he swap guys? Listen,
Swap.
First of all, I saw the brunette who's straight smoke show. Okay, she's unbelievable, but she was getting pissed because she's losing millions of dollars every time his name's not called.
She watched him drop $20 million. He was like, "Listen, I'm gonna buy you this. You can't buy you anything.
When you
$7 million after taxes.
When you realize your trophy husband isn't really a trophy, and you start looking around the room and there's a lot of trophies in the room.
When you realize he's just a Twitter troll that told everybody he's coming in second on Reddit. He went into a subgroup chat on Reddit and guess who's going to be number 2? I heard.
See, that I saw. But I didn't need to watch the draft for that. I saw that. And you know what? The ticker, we got right down here, the ticker is telling you all the draft picks, anywhere you want to go. You could go, and especially now that the internet's a thing. Okay, the internet wasn't a thing but forever, but was the draft always on TV before the internet was a thing? Do you know?
Before, yes.
Like when we were kids, was the draft on TV?
Yes. Yeah.
See, I can't.
Not like when listen. It wasn't the original drafts.
It wasn't a prime time event like it is now.
No, the original drafts weren't. No, when we were kids, yes, the draft was being televised.
I remember it being televised. And okay, that's fine. Okay, the first round. You want to watch the first couple picks? I could do. This right here that we got on TV now. This is the second day of the draft.
No, they do round 2 prime
who is
time.
Watching?
That's That's the most recent update.
This is the third day of the draft.
No, it's dragged on. They end round 1 and they just walk away. That's supposed to be let's start round 1, not prime time, regular time at noon. It would be draft. Pick 1 was at noon.
They used to do the first, and
it would be all day. You would be in the third round by the time the day ended. I don't even know if they ended. They just we're tired. It's time to go home now.
But they give them 15 minutes between each pick, and
they were Mel Kiper's drooling.
Oh my God, it's the worst. It's the worst. No. And people, and I guarantee. I don't know this for a fact, but I guarantee if you looked up the ratings for Friday night, top program was the NFL draft. Yeah, top rated program. Yeah. And probably Saturday night as well. Maybe not because of the playoff games on Saturday night.
It probably beat hockey.
It definitely beat hockey. 1,000% it beat hockey, which it bothers me to no end.
You know what SIG is? Not even on one channel. 2 channels. ESPN and ABC.
Oh, even worse. ABC, listen, it gets good ratings.
Double.
The network, the ABC network, is putting it on their prime time. I guess I'm the outlier.
Next year it's going to be ESPN2 with the Manning brothers.
I like the Manning brothers, though. They're good at what they do.
See?
They tried it with the ESPN tried it with the K-Cast, too, on the Sunday night games.
Oh, so bad.
It's not good.
No, because you don't that's the opposite of what you want.
Yeah, because it's not funny.
You don't want more Michael K and A-Rod. Talk about 2 awkward guys.
You got 2 funny guys. But the Mannings are funny. Okay? Both of them are funny.
Yeah, and
A-Rod's an asshole, right? Let's be real.
And they're relevant to today and to know what they're talking about with football. Those guys they might know a little bit.
No, A-Rod's relevant.
No, but it's more about they're trying to make the fake banter.
Yeah, I don't think
I don't
think they like each other.
It just didn't work. The whole thing just didn't work.
So that's terrible. Now the Yankees yesterday. The Yankees played Texas against our old friend Jacob deGrom pitching. He retired 10 in a row, mowing them down, looking like the old Jacob deGrom, gave up a base hit. Out comes the trainer. Out comes the pitching coach. Into the clubhouse goes deGrom. With no explanation. I'm guessing tightness in the elbow or something.
You're a pitcher. Right? What do you expect? It's going to be tight.
They lost again. The Yankees can't score runs. The Yankees are like the Rangers with the scoring. They don't score runs. They don't
have a lot of trouble. Let me tell you. Do you think the Yankees can maintain if Judge ends up being on and off injured all year? Like, 'cause hips aren't like that. Like, hips it can probably linger. Listen, I mean, it's one thing if you should rest him. Honestly, he's probably fighting through whatever, and they should probably rest him. And he's like, no, I'm going to go play.
I think they can maintain just because prior to last year, Judge was on and off hurt, right?
Yeah.
For most of those years. That was the big thing. Do we sign him? Do we give him all this money because he's hurt? Do we not give him all this?
Yeah, but the Rays weren't the 27 Yankees.
Listen, the Rays. Yeah, I know the Rays.
So
the Rays, they even lost they lost 2 in a row this week. But the Rays. Listen, the Rays. They got themselves a big head start. Is what happened. And the Yankees are not playing well. The Yankees are a 500 team right there.
Nah, but you can still get your way into the playoffs.
Oh, they can.
I mean, like anything, you just got to play your 500 ball these days.
They might not make the starting pitching is not great.
They have the same record as the Mets. First of all,
the Mets listen.
The Mets aren't playing well. No. They had a good West Coast trip, and other than that, they have not had a good anything else.
They had a good West Coast trip. Then you can't.
Other than that, they're a 500 ball club all year.
You can't lose. It's unacceptable losing 2 out of 3 at home to the Nationals. I don't care about the West Coast trip. That you're tired. It's unacceptable to come home and lose 2 out of 3.
Both of these teams are underperforming. Now, the Mets have a little bit of things like the Yankees are actually, Cole's pitching well. They're actually, with Judge, they have some questions on what's going on. The Mets at least have their pitching staff should be coming back. One from suspension, one from rehab assignment, trying to figure out.
Verlander pitched well yesterday. Or Friday, whatever it was, in Binghamton.
Yep.
He 4 innings, 10 strikeouts, whatever it was. And then last night, who pitched for the Mets last night? Was it
who was up there?
Peterson?
Yeah, it was Peterson.
He's the new Mats. Okay, he pitches good. He pitches well, and then he gives up a 3-run bomb in the 5th inning.
He really did look good, though. He was
pitching well. But that's what he does, okay? And that's what Scherzer does, too, late. First couple starts, Scherzer seems to have... He's hurt. But Peterson, he pitches well. He gives up a 3-run home run in every start. And then that puts you right behind the 8.
But that's what the Braves do. That's what the Mets are going to have a hard time catching up with the Braves. The Braves have power. They have power from so many different guys that on any given night, you are going to get 2 or 3 home runs out of the Braves. And let me tell you, the Mets don't have that. The Mets have guys who they have Alonso, will give you Lindor, that's capable of hitting home runs. Let me tell you, there's nobody else in that lineup hitting home runs.
The Braves are one of the best organizations as far as
they may hit a couple.
Developing talent and getting them signed before they hit free agency so they get to keep them for like an extra 2 or 3 years. Because the Braves are a smaller market. The Braves don't have a ton of money, and they constantly win. They won World Series. The Braves are always there. Try to take it from 2 Mets fans, okay? The Braves are always beating us. Always. For our entire lives.
Last night it just sucked all
right
around.
Now, the Braves are a better team than the Mets. That's all there is to it. The Braves are a better team. They played 5 innings yesterday, and they lost 4-0. And now, here's an interesting thing, Brett. Let's do this gambling thing that you had. Brett had just tell him.
All right. So, last night... I did not think they were going to play the Mets game. It was downpouring.
Wait, real quick.
Yeah.
Day 3 of the NFL draft, Saturday afternoon. Fallout Boy.
Fallout Boy's performing. That's
Fallout Boy.
And there's probably people who are waiting for this performance.
They waited.
It's packed.
They teased it all week.
Packed.
That's crazy. But okay, really. back to the story.
So the Mets game, I didn't think they were going to play it. And then all of a sudden, it was getting closer to game time. Like, they're going to just go and play this game. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to put some money on the under. One, because the weather's bad. Probably not going to be a lot of offense. The wind's howling. You know what? There tends not to be a lot. It was 7.5. So I take the under. Not for a lot of money. Had a free bet in there, too.
$5-7 grand, something like that.
Yeah, light. But... The Mets game, so now game goes into the 5th inning. I'm like, it's downpouring.
Pouring, miserable.
The Braves hit the home run. I'm like, oh, all right, now I've got a little bit about this under. It's real. I'm like, they're going to call this game after 5. And there's no way. I'm looking at the Rays. There's no way they're playing if they call this game. It's not getting back on.
No, but nobody was there.
So I'm like, this is a lock. This is a lock. I have this bet. Totally done. Game ends. They end up making it a final game. Braves win.
5 innings. Complete
5
game.
innings. Boom. Can't go to bed. Won my money. Woke up. No. Void refund.
They can't do that.
Void refund.
You bet the under in the game. The game was official. That should be a win for you. That should definitely be a win.
They must have paid the other bets. Like, did they paid people who, like, that Braves guy hit a home run? If you had him to hit a home run, you got paid, right?
I think you either void all the bets or you void none of the bets.
What about somebody else who didn't hit a home run? Did you have to get paid back?
That's a good question.
So one guy you're paying. Question. So the one guy hit a home run, you paid him, right? Everybody else didn't hit a home run, but they didn't get to play all the innings.
No, they're giving them their money back.
You're telling me that was a free roll bet for that home run?
Oh, good question. Good question.
They gave gave everybody who had that home run a free roll.
Listen, I would chat. If I was you, I'd chat. I'd look into it. You clearly didn't read the agreement when you checked accept, right?
It must have been under like subsection 478 because
it's in there somewhere.
I'm going to print it out when I get home.
It's in there. You got a lot of reading to do. But
I'm telling you,
that's a good question.
It's not about it's fine if you void that bet and all bets. Like, that game doesn't count. Let me tell you, that is a final baseball game. Someone hit a home run. People had hits. There was people who had the hit thing. There's people in parlays that were probably one hit away from a big payday. Void. Or are you telling me you paid them if it made it and everybody else got their money back?
I was surprised. I thought, because you put it in the group chat.
Yeah, I was like, no, because I really thought I was brilliant. I thought I was brilliant. Like, you have no idea. I was like, it's going to rain. They're going to cancel this game early. Even if they have, it's going under. Like, they didn't factor in that there's no way they can finish a baseball game tonight.
Yeah. First of all, why did they? Because you know what? Before you start the game, it's up to the home team whether you want to cancel it or not. Okay, that's completely up to the home team. Once it starts, it's the umpires and Major League Baseball.
Do you know what their worry is?
Why would the Mets start that game?
You know why? Because today's going to get canceled.
Today's 4 o'clock.
So they knew it was a back-to-back
canceled already.
Sunday.
But so what? It's April.
No,
this is what happens in April.
Sunday's a toss-up.
Okay, so this is what happens. It's April, right? April happens.
No, you do a triple header Monday.
Triple header Monday, and then
there's already a game.
You know there's
already a game, so you're only getting 2 fixed for that.
You know there's going to be the Wednesday noon somewhere against the Braves. You know the club, the camp.
Not as easy this year. You know why?
Because they got to play. Because they don't play him as much.
Yep, not as easy.
Because that's the.
How many times are they coming back to New York?
They come back at least 3 times, right? They don't play 18.
They are coming 3 more times.
No.
They're not coming back 3 more times. 2 more times. You're telling me it's April and we see the Braves twice.
And they're probably
and how can you fill in 2 games or maybe 3?
And one of them's probably a weekend series because it is the Braves, right?
Back-to-back doubleheaders. It's probably late in the year.
They're going to be huge games.
Huge back-to-back doubleheaders. We're at the game all day on a Wednesday for a tripleheader that decides the division. Benayak Bayani comes out.
You know it's going to be a big game if it's. You're right. You know what? You're right. You know what? But listen, moral of the story.
You only care because they lost. Bottom line. Yeah, if they won the game, you'd say it was the greatest decision in Mets history.
But you got to. Yeah, I guess you're right. You're
100% right.
But moral of the story: read the damn user agreements. All right.
And anyway, Randall, send me my $20 back.
So listen, tonight, Ranger fans, let's get this done, okay?
Are we talking about the Rangers this time next week in a positive way?
The gun to my head, are we talking about the Rangers this time? Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
This is the first time I had faith in the Rangers winning this series.
Absolutely
you heard it here first, people. Bob has no faith in them winning tonight. They will win 6. They will win 7.
How could you have faith in this
Bob,
team?
I've never had more faith than you having doubt.
Yeah, gun to my head, they lose tonight. 4-1, 5-1, something like that.
Your doubt gives me all the faith in the world.
Let's hope so. Aaron Rodgers, Brett, last thoughts on Aaron Rodgers. Are you happy? Did the Jets win the Super Bowl this year? You put money on the Jets to win the Super Bowl this year?
Yeah. I already do have money on the Jets to win the Super Bowl this year.
You haven't
every year.
No, you haven't won a parlay with 4 other teams in all the other sports.
Mark Sanchez, anybody. Jets, yes, I have money to win.
Maybe doing the same thing over and over and over and over and expecting a different result.
We're trying different this year, Bob.
Crazy.
Totally different.
So that pretty much does it for us here today, everybody. Thanks for watching us live on Facebook, on Twitter. Brett, Bob Walters, Brett Grasso. I'll talk to you Sunday, everybody. We'll see you next week. See ya.